Hello, everyone. I'm Zach, and welcome to S-File. Today's story takes us to Fuchu City, Tokyo, Japan, the site of a daring cash heist that would go down as one of the most mysterious cases in Japanese history. The criminal's method was so clever, so precise that many have called it the perfect crime. Even after more than 50 years, this case continues to capture the public's imagination. It is known as one of Japan's big three unsolved mysteries. The 300 million yen robbery. Now let's turn back the clock to December 6, 1968. On December 6, 1968, it was raining that day. The manager of the Kokubunji branch of Nihon Trust Bank received a threatening letter. The message demanded that the bank send a female employee to deliver 3 million yen to a specific location by 5 p.m. the following day. If the demand was not met, the letter warned that the manager's house would be blown up. In response, police set up a covert operation. They stationed 50 officers at the designated drop-off point, ready to apprehend the suspect. But the suspect never showed up. But just 4 days later, around 9:30 a.m., a Nissan Cedric cash transport vehicle left the Kokubunji branch of Nihon Trust Bank, carrying a total of 294,307,500 yen in end-of-year bonuses for 4,523 factory workers at the Tokyo Shibora Electric Fuchu plant. The money was packed in 3 secure metal cases inside the armored car. As the vehicle passed behind Fuchu Prison, along Gakuen Street in Sakaicho, Fuchu City, it was flagged down by a man on a motorcycle dressed as a police officer. When the driver rolled down his window and asked what was going on, the officer said, "We've just received word that a bomb was planted at the home of your bank's branch manager in Sugamo, and we suspect that this vehicle may also be in danger. We need to check it immediately." Having remembered the threat from just a few days earlier, the bank employees quickly exited the vehicle without hesitation. The man pretending to be a police officer crouched under the transport vehicle to inspect it. But moments later, smoke began billowing out from beneath the car. He suddenly shouted, "It's going to explode! Run!" In the confusion, as the bank employees backed away, the man jumped into the driver's seat and drove off with the cash, right in front of their eyes. At first, the stunned employees actually praised the officer's bravery, but then they noticed something strange. The smoke continued to rise, and the motorcycle left at the scene didn't seem like real police equipment. Only then did they realize they had been tricked. Upon receiving the report, police immediately sprang into action, dispatching officers to the scene while also launching a full-scale search for the armored vehicle. Coincidentally, that day marked the first day of the year-end special security alert period, meaning law enforcement had already deployed officers across major locations throughout the city. That broad police presence proved invaluable. By 9:50 a.m., the entire Tokyo metropolitan area, excluding only the Izu and Ogasawara Islands, was placed under emergency alert status. Police were confident. With such a rapid and widespread response, they believed the suspect would be apprehended in no time. But reality told a different story. Despite an entire day of intensive checks, roadblocks, and questioning, there was no trace of the perpetrator. The thief had vanished, along with 300 million yen in cash. By the second day, police realized that a citywide manhunt was proving fruitless, and they shifted their focus back to the crime scene itself. Though initially overlooked in the urgency of the search, the scene actually contained a surprising number of clues. A Yamaha 350R1 sports motorcycle was found abandoned at the scene. This was a key detail. All real police motorcycles at the time were manufactured by Honda, not Yamaha. The bike, originally painted blue, had been repainted white to resemble a police vehicle. It was confirmed to have been stolen between November 19th and 20th, 1968. A flat cap, traced to a manufacturer in Higashinari Ward, Osaka. At first, it was hoped that sweat stains on the cap could be used to determine the suspect's blood type. But in a tragic mistake, police officers passed the cap around for fun, ruining the possibility of extracting any usable forensic evidence. Attached to the fake police motorcycle was a loudspeaker, used to mimic actual police communication equipment. Its serial number revealed that only 5 units of that model had been made, 4 had known owners, and the 5th had been reported stolen from a construction site in Higashimurayama City. The smoke bomb used to create panic under the armored vehicle was identified as a high-flare 5 model, manufactured by Carlet Como in Hodagaya Ward, Yokohama. These were commercially available at gas stations, and 4,190 units had been sold prior to the date of the incident. Shortly after the heist, police found the abandoned cash transport vehicle in a wooded area near the crime scene. The 3 metal cash boxes were gone. Witnesses had seen a dark blue Toyota Corolla parked nearby before the robbery. Investigators concluded that the suspect transferred the money into the Corolla and escaped, leaving the transport truck behind. The discovery confirmed one thing: this was a carefully planned escape, executed with precision. Not long after, police made another discovery near Myojo Gakuen High School in Fuchu City. They found a dark blue raincoat, which was made by a company that had gone out of business in 1958, meaning the coat was at least 10 years old. There were signs it had been ironed, and faint traces of a laundry tag remained on the collar. Nearby, police also found a green Toyota Corolla, which had been reported stolen between November 30th and December 1st. When found, the car door was ajar, the wipers still running, and the window only halfway closed. Investigators believe the suspect may have hidden the fake police motorcycle under the raincoat at this site, then returned on the day of the crime driving the Corolla, retrieved the motorcycle, and carried out the heist. 4 months after the robbery, the suspect's dark blue Toyota Corolla was discovered in a parking lot at the Hancho housing complex in Kogani City. An empty cash box was found nearby. Police believe the suspect removed the cash at this location, though it's also possible the money was taken elsewhere, and the car dumped here to avoid suspicion, as the parking lot was busy and crowded. Several other stolen vehicles were also found in the area, all covered with car tarps, making them hard to detect. In 1971, forensic scientist Gen Nukata was brought in to examine the scene. He found that the knots used to tie the car covers varied, suggesting that multiple people were involved, pointing to a group crime. Inside one of the stolen vehicles, police found 2 horse racing magazines, a sports newspaper, a matchbox from a cafe near the Fuchu racecourse, a flyer for Heiwajima boat racing. None of these items belonged to the original owner, indicating the suspect was likely a fan of gambling, horse racing, or boat racing. In another stolen car, police found a woman's earring, which also didn't belong to the owner. This led to speculation that a woman, or possibly a gay man, was involved in the crime group. The suspect left behind a total of 120 items of evidence at the scene, including tools used in the crime. Because of this, police were initially highly optimistic about solving the case quickly. The threat letter sent to the bank was a major clue. The stamp had been affixed using saliva, and forensic analysis revealed the suspect had type B blood. The letter itself was crafted using cutout words from a magazine, the same magazine issue later used to wrap the smoke bomb found at the scene. With so many pieces of physical evidence pointing in the same direction, investigators soon zeroed in on a prime suspect. One of the first serious suspects was Boy S, a 19-year-old and a junior leader of the Tachikawa gang, a notorious youth group involved in car thefts around Tachikawa City. He was suspected for several reasons. The method of stealing vehicles matched the techniques used in the robbery. He was familiar with the local area and skilled in driving cars and motorcycles. He was known to be close friends with a man involved in a March 1968 smoke bomb robbery in Tachikawa. His father was a motorcycle police officer, giving him possible access to knowledge about police vehicles. He had no alibi, aside from statements from his family. Before the crime, he allegedly spoke about robbing a Toshiba or Hitachi cash transport truck. However, there were also strong inconsistencies. His blood type was A, but the saliva on the stamp of the threat letter was type B. His handwriting didn't match that of the threat letters. A series of similar extortion letters had been sent to the Tama Agricultural Cooperative earlier that year, and analysis suggested they were written by the same person behind the 300 million yen robbery. But one of those letters, dated August 25th, was sent while S was in juvenile detention. Then, just 5 days after the heist, S was found dead at home, having ingested potassium cyanide purchased by his father. The wrapping paper containing the poison had only his and his father's fingerprints. Strangely, those who knew him didn't believe he was the type to commit suicide. The next day, police brought the 4 bank employees involved in the robbery to S.'s home. All 4 said he resembled the man they saw that day. On December 21, 1968, based on his appearance, police released a composite sketch modeled after S. But in the end, S was cleared as a suspect, and his death only deepened the mystery. Another key suspect was K, a 25-year-old driver who lived in Fuchu City. He matched several suspicious traits. He was familiar with the local area, had type B blood, like the saliva found on the threat letter, and the tone of a letter he once wrote to a friend resembled that of the extortion note. Although his handwriting didn't match, his facial features were strikingly similar to the police sketch, making him a notable person of interest. On December 12, 1969, a full year after the robbery, a journalist from Mainichi Shimbun reported that police had identified K as a suspect. Police acknowledged the match in background and appearance, but insisted that the handwriting was different. However, the media quickly ran with the story. Fearing that K might flee, police moved in and arrested him immediately. But with no concrete evidence, he was released the very next day. Despite his release, the damage was done. K lost his job, was socially ostracized, and spent years constantly switching jobs due to public suspicion. In September 2008, nearly 4 decades later, K took his own life. Over the course of 7 years, police pursued an unprecedented investigation. More than 110,000 individuals were listed as potential suspects. Over 170,000 officers were involved, a record in Japanese criminal history, and the case cost an estimated 900 million yen. Yet the culprit was never found. On December 10, 1975, the 7-year statute of limitations for criminal prosecution expired. Then on December 10, 1988, the 20-year civil statute of limitations also ended. From that point on, the case officially became one of Japan's most famous unsolved mysteries, often referred to as the perfect crime. After the statute expired, several individuals claimed responsibility for the robbery, but upon investigation, all were found to be frauds, motivated by fame, book deals, or scams. How were these false confessions debunked? Investigators had kept 2 key details secret. During the heist, the smoke bomb malfunctioned, and the real perpetrator had to use a very specific method to make it emit smoke. One of the cash boxes contained not just cash and bonus envelopes, but a unique hidden item known only to the bank and the thief. Only the true culprit would know both of these details. To this day, no one has been able to provide that knowledge, and the identity of the 300 million yen thief remains unknown.